You recording? Hello, guys. Welcome in. Episode 11 of In the Zone. With me right now is Matthew Rodriguez. Say hi.
Hello.
Jacob Husband.
Hello.
And Gustavo Gomez. And introducing a new guest, welcoming in to his first episode, Cameron Kasmiersky. So hello.
Hey, how's it going?
All right, so on the docket, we literally have absolutely everything up on ready to go. We are just going to be asking random questions, This is penny for your thoughts. So, Jacob, would you like to get us started?
All right. Well, since Nick over here wanted philosophical and deep questions, I came up with one. Why do you think people hate others?
Interesting question.
That's a good one. That's a deep one.
All right, so does anyone want to start off?
Like, what do you mean, Corso? Like, on how they hate certain other people? Like, as a group of people, or
I think whenever I hear the word hate, I think of towards a specific group. I don't think towards one person is as much hate as it is resentment or dislike, right? Mm-hmm. So in this case, I would think that this hate is referring to religion, race, or economic status. So that's just my initial thoughts. I don't know if you guys have any.
Yeah.
So I think that you would hate someone for their religion because it represents something that's like contrary to what you believe in, so it might disprove you in some way. So like an atheist and like a Christian or something like that. Like that is like a perfect example. You would hate them because of the fact that they have the belief that God isn't real or something like that. Whatever they have to believe. Or like race because of past issues, all that stuff. So I don't know if you guys feel any different. I think that hate is not necessarily justified in any sense in the fact that there's not really one really good reason. Like you can't hate someone. You can hate someone if they murdered your family. I don't think you should hate them over like a religion or something like that.
Yeah. I think when you're talking about religion, you say like an atheist and a Christian, that's not really a hate, but a disagreement more.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I mean, in some cases, I'm sure there are people that hate people for what they believe in, but most of the time, I think it's just purely disagreement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's like old past traditions or like thoughts that people kind of wire themselves into. If you tell your child, oh, this certain group of people isn't all that well, that child's going to grow up to fuel this hate and have this kind of perception of how these people are because of their mind being filled up with all this nonsense. So I guess that's how I feel like hate is really born.
So Gustavo, Jacob, any thoughts?
I mean, yeah, I guess you could say the same thing, that it's like your parents, not parents, maybe like anyone that you kind of like look up to or like you admire, they kind of like breed stuff into you, I guess. So I guess hate could be like a really good one that, I mean, like you can't really like feel it like just by like,
It's literally injecting their perception into your mind.
So then let me ask this, which is more important, nature or nurture? Like, do you think that you become, like you were already born to be what you were, or do you think that you become what you are? So like basically, are people inherently bad? Do they inherently hate some sort of people?
No, not at all.
So you don't think that people are inherently bad? They just become bad or they make poor choices or whatever they have?
You ever heard of, sorry, you were
No, definitely I agree.
Oh, okay, yeah, like it's kind of like the Tarzan theory. Like, this kid grows up with a bunch of monkeys and like he adapts with them. He kind of acts like them. So I think of the same way with like any kind of human being. They just adapt and sort of act upon whatever his surroundings are.
For sure, I think nurture plays a much bigger role in who you become than nature. I mean, what is there an argument to even explain how nature or the way someone is when they're born? Like it's like fate. Like how you can't prove that, but nurture obviously you can prove because that's who you become. It's the people around you.
So then,
influences you.
Let me ask: can anyone change? So can you turn? I'm not saying like turn Hitler into Jesus Christ or something like that. You know what I mean? Like not like that level, but like can anyone change? So where they are, so if they're like an alcoholic, they're a drug addict, or they're a former convict of something. Yeah. Do you think that they can still become a contribution to society and good?
Yeah, sure. That's another thing. Like Hitler. This is really controversial, but like Hitler in different kind of perceptions was a positive influence for some societies, especially, his German Empire, but like in certain aspects, I don't want to say anything where.
Yeah, he's not approving of anything Hitler did. He's just saying this is like Gustavo. I saw you.
Yeah, so I mean, like the thing, it's kind of goes off topic just a little bit, but like, yeah, you can definitely change like yourself, like you can see a change in yourself. Like the thing is, if someone else can't see it, then it kind of like goes to a waste almost. Because although like I think that I may have changed somehow, another person still views me a different way no matter what.
Yeah,
so like
for sure.
Yeah.
Preconceived ideas.
Jacob, and what was the second part of this question?
All right. Well, the second part of this question is: have you ever hated someone?
Or really, really passionately disliked if you don't like the word. So
Yeah.
Matthew, I know you have a story that you want to say.
Well, I mean, I would say hate, but giving a lot of thought and trying to grasp upon the real thoughts of it. I wouldn't call it hate, but yeah, there has been definitely some people where I dislike them, but that's mostly because of how much of a shitty person they are, rather than like what race they are, and like.
So then, what was like? Give us the story then.
Well, I would like to talk about it like a lot more deeper and later. I wouldn't want to start and begin with that just yet, but let's just say like you grew up with this person and like you think he's like your friend and everything, but then like once you actually truly see him for like a different kind of way, it's like I don't know, it just kind of like taints all those other memories and like paintings you like kind of sort of shared with him, and it just
It's a feeling of like breakup, but that you can't quite explain. You know?
Yes, that's where I feel like the hate comes from inside of me, where it feels like, so you've been like this all this time. It's like, like the Darth Vader reveal, like, oh my gosh, you're my father, like, that kind of stuff. Not great example, but you know what I mean.
Okay, has there been anyone that you guys have ever resented then? Like for like either making you who you are or like going you along a path or anything like that,
I can't say I have. No, I've never had an encounter with anyone or an experience with someone that made me feel that way
I feel
to
that
that extent.
this is gonna be like proper bad. I love my mom to death, but I resent the hell because I take so many personalities from my own mother that is like almost uncanny. Like I remember I've had this argument with her. It's like whether you like it or not, you're the one who made me like the way I am. Like if you would find me annoying, you're the one that made me that way. It's like I don't hate my mother in any shape because it's like all the traits that I get, like the need to constantly like be a center of attention, like even right now, you know what I mean? Or the need to be heard, the need to win, like everything that I've been shaped into, to where I have it to like the full power of it, to where it's like the wrong side of it. I feel like I've gotten it more from my mother than I have from my father or my brother, because like I like my family does a good job of raising me. Like they had to put up with me every day. I think everyone's family can say that. You know what I mean? They have to put up with you every day, so you got to have some sort of respect. And I respect the hell out of my family, and I love my family dead. But I resent them for making me like I don't want to say particularly like a monster because I think that's a little bit too far. But like just making me, you know what I mean? Making me like different. Like I respect it, I like it, and I hate it at the same time. It's something that's like you can't put your finger on.
Although you might resent that, like it's something you have to appreciate.
I mean, yeah, I can appreciate it, but I can also resent it because it's like all my bad qualities I feel like I get from that part of the family. It's like they could have been like obviously not all of my qualities, but you know what I mean? Like the majority of my qualities, I feel like the bad ones, I feel like I've gotten from my mother. And I feel like that right there is the reason that me and her are never gonna have as good a relationship as me and my dad. Because me and my dad has a better because we're more opposite in that sense. So it's like a better relationship. So no matter how much I want it, I don't think I'll ever have as good a relationship with my mother as I will with my father because of the way I was raised and what I experienced. Because my mother, she had to raise me a lot alone because my dad had to like work all the time. So she had to put up with me as a little kid all the time. And so everything that she did, I ended up copying. Nature, nurture, as you can expect. You expect you to get it from your father, but in this case, it was the environment I was raised. And the environment I was raised in, I was the one that constantly got in trouble, so I'd always fight it. So, yeah, I can see why I've become who I am because of my mother. And I don't hate her. I will never say I hate my mother, but I do resent her for making me that. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't. Well, you see, the way I see it with that is just that, like, I feel like at a certain age, you are built upon and matched up by your parents, but after a while, your peers are what you create.
But that's the issue. I feel that, me personally, I feel that I'm never going to be able to escape that mental fortitude that I am this. You know what I mean? Like, no matter how much I try, I'll always be me. You know, it might be better, it might be for worse, you know, but like, I'm always going to be me because of my parents.
But isn't
Because that's what I've been ingrained in my whole life, you know?
Mhm.
And so I'm finding it difficult now trying to like either go away to college or be my own person. That it's like, it's a lot harder to change just like that at this stage in your life, you know?
Yeah. No, yeah.
I thought you meant to
Does your
add.
mom watch these?
Not really.
Okay, good.
I mean, I've had these talks with her before. Like,
Oh.
I've literally had that talk where it's like, I don't hate you, I respect the hell out of you, and I love you, but I resent you. You know what I mean? It's like, I've had these talks with her that it's like, you are the person that made me who I am, whether you like it or not. You know, I get my traits from you. So if you like hate on me for that, you're looking right into the mirror, bro. Not in that sense, like, but you know what I mean, like metaphorically. Yeah, like you are you reap what you sow. You know what I mean? So like, if you give crappy advice, then crappy advice is going to give it back to you. If you give a crappy response is going to give back to you. If you're a jerk to someone, they're a jerk back to you. You know?
That's exactly what I mean. Like, that's why I feel like the hate is like kind of bounces off of each other sometimes. Because like, if you're shitty to a person, they're gonna be shitty right back to you.
I mean, there are obviously some people like in our lives that are like, no matter what you do, they're always going to be by your side. You know? So then I'd like to pose the question. So I remember I wrote this down. So if you were to be in an open chair therapy, which if you guys don't know what it is, I'll explain it really quickly. Basically, it's a form of therapy where someone is like put in a chair, there's a blank chair before them, and then they'll imagine that there's someone in that chair that they trust and they love and they can confide into. It's a way to deal with like post-traumatic stress disorder, like something that like where it's like, or like a mental disease, or, like, you know what I mean? It's something that's used to help them talk and get their issues on. Like, take that. I feel like this is probably a pretty accurate thing. Is like something's on your chest. It feels like it's getting a poison extract from you. Like that. Get it off your chest. So out of your lives, who is the people that you would trust the most, or who is the person that you would put in that chair? Like, whenever you think of an open chair and you want to talk to someone, who is that person that you look over and see?
You want to start?
I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Like, yes, I love my parents and I love like all my family. But like, I feel like the only person that I can trust is like, you know, my own self conscience, I guess. Like, I'm not like myself. Like, I just don't see how like I can put myself in a situation like that. Like, yeah, I could tell my parents everything, but like, it's just not really like.
It's not the same.
It's not their like their job to like. I mean, it is.
It is literally their job.
Their job, but like at the same time, at one point you got to realize that like. Sometimes you got to deal with your own problems. Like, you can't really like just be telling other people. Like,
Oh, you can't run from them.
yeah, you can't run to someone.
Sure.
Yeah.
What about you, Cam?
Mine would probably be my brother. I mean, I'm the same as you guys. I'm really close with my parents and have a lot of love for them. But just like someone that you're not as close to, who could be less, who doesn't know you as well, because my brother and I aren't super close. So it would be like a guy that I know is wise and cares for me, but doesn't know enough about me to have a tainted perspective. So it would just be like talking to someone that cares about you, but doesn't know enough about you to change.
Yeah, like they
How
won't
they
try
can
and
help
they
you.
won't change their way just to help, like just to please you. They'll change it
Exactly.
just
Yeah.
based on like what's
Yes.
actually given in a situation.
Yeah, for sure.
So what has helped your brother like become that person that you think of that you would talk to compared
Well,
to your parents?
He's 4 years older than me, so he's in college, and we were never super close, but through like experiences I've had and things that have gone wrong in my life, he's always been like the person I felt I could talk to, especially recently, and we've been able to bond over things, and we're so dissimilar from each other that I think like his perspective would be helpful to me because it wouldn't be mine, you know, it wouldn't be so close to mine. It's so far from, he thinks so differently from the way I think. So, I mean, that's just like the person I would turn to for sure.
All right, what about you, Jacob?
To be honest, I don't know most of my family a lot because I've always been sort of like very quiet in my family. So like I barely know my sister Lainey, barely know my sister Maya. I don't like my sister roaring. My dad was like on and off in my life because of like work and like the divorce. So I guess my mom.
You would go your mother?
Yeah, because she's been there like every distinct time in my life. She's always been there. Like the time that like I was admitted to the mental hospital, she was the one who took me. Like the time that we went to Europe, she was the one who wanted to go with me. And like I stayed at her house most of the time during the divorce. So I just grew like a connection with her. So that's probably who I'd put there because out of all the family members, I trust her the most out of them.
Like Matthew?
For me would probably be, might not throw out names, but JR. She's a really good friend. She was always there for me whenever things would come near, and whenever I don't know how she did. Like, you know those kind of people, like, I don't know how you deal with my bullshit. Like, sometimes you feel like it's too
Yeah,
much,
yeah.
even for yourself. And definitely she's like my therapy chair, and like she helps me a lot whenever I have issues and I just need to find a different kind of way of view that's other than mine, because sometimes mine's not always correct. So yeah, she's definitely.
So would you say that she's not your opposite, but like in the sense that she's like the bright way of thinking when it, like she's your cool head, you know what I mean? Like your alter
Yeah.
personality that's a good, better personality.
My a calm,
Yeah,
a
common
calmer.
sense, yeah. Is there anyone that you guys feel that like no matter where you are, they're always like with you, like you know, not like dead person like in spirit like that, but like they're always like if you just think of them, it's like that where it's like a homey sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Is there anyone? Do you have?
My mom.
Yeah.
Wait,
Wait,
that's
what?
a no.
Christina Martinez, if you are still in the building, please report to the main office. Christina Martinez, please report to the main office.
No, hell no. I'm keeping that blue brand. Are you kidding me?
I don't know. I feel like your mother is just someone that, I mean, not for everybody, but
Yeah.
for a lot of people, your mother's who raises you and who you just can always feel like you have a bond with.
I feel like
No brainer for me.
for me, there's two people. I'm gonna say Eddie Ruiz. If you guys know, I don't think you might know who he is. You might know. You definitely know who he is.
Harry.
So like, I would say Ari would be the one for me because you know he's been my best friend. Like he was my first friend when I moved to Spring, the whole district since Pflugerville, and so he had to put up with a lot of my stupidity. You know, I think everyone was kind of annoying in sixth grade, so he had to put up with that basically every day. Seventh grade, we kind of moved apart because he went to Hildebrand and then I stayed at Criminal, even though I could have moved to Hildebrand as well. But like I stayed at Criminal because that's just where I felt associated with. And then eighth grade, we didn't really talk. And in ninth grade, we had the class together. And it was like the greatest class ever. Like I think we set like a world record for like holding the middle finger up in the class without getting noticed. And it was like 2 minutes long. Whopping 2 minutes right there. Just woohoo! Holding that up right there. Pride and prejudice right there. Middle English class. That was great. That's pretty great. But it's like he's been through like the highs and lows. He's seen me at my most vulnerable. He's seen me at my strongest, and he's seen me like everywhere in between. So it's like he's always been there for me. You know, whether or not like we talk as much as we do, because COVID, which I think like everyone has that friend that like they miss that they don't talk to them as much, and it's because of COVID. And so he's in line for that because he's always been like the rock on my like dude side of friends that's like always been there no matter what. You know, so if I ever needed to talk to him, if I needed to vent, you know, during my like depression issues, he was like the first one that I talked to. He was like the only one that was like I could really trust. Like even like that's something that's like I don't know if Jacob can relate. Like that's something that you try not to tell your family because it's such a rocking thing. That's like once they hear about it, it's like, holy crap, this is what's been going on behind the scenes. I don't know if that's just my inherent distrust of people, other than like my friends, like my really, really close friends because I see them so much, or because that's just, you know, me, you know. But like I didn't want to tell my parents because I knew that would just rock the world. And then that's something that you just don't want to hear from your son, you know, especially the one that you just don't see show any emotion whatsoever, you know. But like, he was the one that saw me like at that stage. And he was the one that, well, Matthew was the one that got me out of that because I don't know if I would have made it from there. But like, Eddie was the one that I first talked to. And he was like the one that was just there. You know what I mean? So That's who I would put in that open chair, and that's who I would like say. It's like if I think of him, he's like he's a good calming sense. It's like this is what you have to do to stay like this. You know what I mean?
Mhm. And like, yeah, to add on to like what you were saying, like sometimes we don't exactly speak upon our issues to our parents. It's just like my parent, at least for my dad, he came from a different country, so like he doesn't really sort of grasp or like understand exactly everything about like mental health and like how society is built now. Like, it's everything's changed except him. So like whenever like I guess I would try to speak to him about like things of that nature, he would just be like, "Why be so depressed, man? Like, come on!" Like,
Yeah, I feel like that's a big thing with like a bunch of like immigrant families. I guess like they don't really understand like.
I think to say like something like that, that's easier said than done. Like that's something that everyone wants to experience is the fact that they don't want to be upset, they don't want to be depressed, they don't want to be angry, they don't want to be sad, frustrated, whatever the hell you have. No one wants that, but it's so much easier said than done to get yourself out of that.
Yeah, especially like being like, because like I feel like that's gonna be a big problem. Not a big problem, but like it's like a major thing like with like a bunch of people in this area. Because I mean like there's a bunch of like Latinos here, and like their parents are not really like
Yeah,
as
I won't say educated, but like
they're not as
wisdomic. That's
yeah.
probably the best. They're not as wisdomic.
Yeah,
as
and like I feel like it's good that as we go on, we're luckily gonna have to tell our kids how our experiences are and how like different we are compared to our parents, and like how like we're gonna move along. That's good, but I mean at the same time, it's harder for us since like a bunch of people our age are gonna be like first gen like college students and stuff and all that. So
That's a good point.
yeah, and like that's why like I just really don't like how that way of thinking is with certain parents, because like the way how my dad told me, like the way how you think is weak. That's how he considers it. Like
I mean, I laugh at it, but it's like, yeah, that's like the unfortunate reality is that some people just outright state that, it's like because they just don't understand the whole situation,
That's why like sometimes you don't want to react so shitty with someone because you don't know what the fuck they just went through. Someone could like cut you off in the traffic, but you don't know if like somehow they got their kids taken away or
like that's the last straw. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to be the person that really pushed them over that edge or like really sent them down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's where again hate comes from.
Yeah, I think that me personally, I know I talk a lot. Like I feel like I talk a lot of like bad stuff, like to people. Like I insult people or anything like that. But at the end of the day, like I've always said, it's like if I consider them a acquaintance or a friend, I will always say like, dude, if you need help or gal, if you need help, like I'm here for you. If you just need the vent, I'm here for you. It's like I don't say it just to like say it. Sometimes I just say it just to, like because it's like repetition. Because it's like you expect to hear it from me. You know what I mean? So it's like whenever it's not there. So like Jacob and you guys in Europe probably experience this most because that's like one of my most active classes. When I wasn't there for like those 2-3 days, it was like probably dead quiet, because it's just Julian. It's like it's something that you take. I try to be something that's like a rock in your life, and the fact that like you take it for granted until you notice it's gone. You know what I mean? And so I try to be that type of person where it's like it's always a constant in your day. It's always going to be something that you can expect. It's at least something that you can look forward in quotation marks to, depending on the person. So that's just me personally. All right, I think you want to ask your question.
Oh, they haven't gone through like.
Oh, Gustavo. Yeah, start us off.
let me see. Let's see. I feel like this one isn't as like deep as y'all's questions.
It's
but
all
I
right.
think-
It's all
None
right.
of mine are.
So like
Yeah,
I guess
fun.
Yeah, I know. I wanted you to be fun at the same time. Like we're gonna have you for fun. Yeah, you
So-
and Gustavo have the good ones.
so like if y'all had to go back in time to like a certain like time period, what would it be and like why?
Ooh.
Yeah. This is one of my kind of questions.
I'll give you some time to think, and I'll answer mine. Me personally, since I was growing up in this 2000s, I absolutely adore the music, the shows, the Super Bowl, sporting. Everything was great about it. My interests, everything was great about the teachers. Like literally everything was great about the 2000s for me. Because I can remember like vividly on Saturday morning at like 7 p.m. waking up and seeing Power Rangers on the TV.
No, not even. Remember
Listening to Adele, like set fire to the rain, and then at 7 o'clock at night, skipping out of church to listen to SpongeBob or watch another like whole new episode of SpongeBob or Dragon Ball. or something like that, like Kai or something like that. I could just vividly remember these things just throughout the day, just enjoying this stuff. You know what I mean?
You remember Pop Tropica? Like that.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
What's it?
stuff
The
like
penguin
that.
one. Club Penguin.
Club Penguin.
Club Penguin.
Things like that. Yeah.
Dire Wimpy Kid had come out. Yeah.
Dire
first-
Wimpy Kid.
So any time in history and you choose to be a kid again,
Yeah, like why would you not want to be a kid?
I mean, I'd want to go to like ancient Greece or some shit. Like,
Why?
I feel like-
What's good about ancient Greece, my
Be
dude?
cool. It's,
Be a
I mean,
fucking
yeah, but you die because
The
you
fall of the
like put
Roman
it.
Empire type stuff.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool as hell.
But that's good to talk about, but it's not good to
or like
experience.
Yeah,
1970s and you got good music. You
I
got,
would
like,
say 60s if you're gonna go.
smoke and shit.
I would say
Oh,
60s.
yeah, dude. 70s were sick.
I would say 60.
Yeah,
No, but
60s, 70s.
60s, 70s.
awesome.
If you're gonna be like a hipster, you got to go 60. Like
Oh,
there's no
yeah.
other choice.
I don't
Beatles, the freaking
No, I
hippie movement.
agree.
Andy
There's
Warhol.
all of that. Oh yeah, Warhol's. Yeah,
That's a banger right
we'll
there.
get into that later. But I mean, personally, I think 60s, 70s would be so badass. But beyond that, I think like 1920s, you know, like 20s, 30s, kind of Great Gatsby era, and everyone wore suits and drove like dope ass
Oh.
convertibles.
Yeah.
Would you
Just
ever
to be
would-
like rich
Yeah, wait.
in the 30s would have been so cool.
So like if you brought like $1,000, like whatever's in your bank accounts, if you brought that money into the 30s, bro, you would be like
exactly, dude.
you'd be like going all the
And
way
the
up to the
knowledge-
top of New York,
The
bro.
knowledge that you'd have. to
Oh,
be-
yeah.
I mean, anytime you go back.
Yo, yeah, you can invest in whatever the hell you want. You can
Yeah.
predict what you can steal Great Gatsby before it got stolen.
Yeah,
you can literally rewrite history.
Yeah, you
Okay, so then what would you guys rewrite if you could go back to like a time?
Nah, that's not my.
That's
intention.
too deep.
I'd just be chilling.
You'd be chilling. You wouldn't
Yeah.
rewrite. You
I
wouldn't.
feel
You
like-
tell me you don't want to like shoot
No.
Hitler as a baby or something.
No,
No. I feel like
Because there's a butterfly.
I know, but like
Yeah.
without the butterfly effect, what would you think?
No, it can't.
Like within reason.
it just can't work.
If it
like
wasn't-
that.
Yeah.
So like if you shot Hitler, like the Jews wouldn't die, but like not everything
But
else
that would
happen.
change everything.
Yeah.
Like, it would
You
change
know, our
everything.
industrialization wasn't really as progressed because of him.
I mean, but
Yeah,
like
that's what I mean.
Well, we don't. You don't even have to explain that. We already know that. I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I was saying. Wait. Where were we again? Oh shit.
What's-
oh, the era,
Yeah, what
time
era?
period.
What era would
Yeah.
you?
Honestly, dude, I'd say probably like 70s, 80s.
Really?
I want to push like more towards like late 80s because like that's whenever like I guess like you're kind of like in that mix between like that 70s era and then you're starting to get like like new stuff.
For sure, technology and,
Yeah.
and urbanization. Yeah.
I think I would go 2000s first, 80s second, and I'd probably go 60s third because I'd want to experience what the Beatles was like when they first came out, just to see how meteoric that rise would be. You know what I mean?
Beatlemania.
So like 80s would be like for the music, 60s would be for the vibes, and then 2000s would be for the nostalgia.
Yeah.
That'd be my
for sure.
personal. Jacob, what about you, buddy?
Bro, dude, I'm a history nerd, so like, I'd probably go back to like the beginning of Rome. Bro, like,
Fuck yeah.
dude, and like on your thing of like change history, dude, I would so save Julius Caesar. I'd be like, homie, get out, bro. They about to stab you, dog.
I think in ancient time would be cool. It'd just be so much simpler.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but like you'd
like-
also die, and then like
Yeah.
there's so much more that could go wrong
Not scared
than
of
like
all
the
that.
60s.
Like I would go back
You're not
there if I
scared
was
of that.
invincible, but like like ancient Rome, like that's so cool. Like just imagine witnessing like the fall of the Roman Empire and all that stuff. That's,
Why is it
Yeah,
up with
bro.
you in the fall? You compare like everything to the fall of the Roman Empire.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, that was awesome. That
It's
was
cool.
awesome.
No, but like I remember you compared freaking the society, the America right now to the society in Joker and how it's gonna turn out to be like the fall of ancient Rome or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you literally relate everything to the fall. You can relate a freaking Tostitos Fiesta Bowl to like the freaking fall of Rome somehow.
TikTok company. to
Yeah,
the
the
phone.
freaking Charlie D'Amelio to like the fall of Rome.
Rome was a pivotal point in history. A pivotal point in history, man. Okay.
I mean, but like I wouldn't live there though. Like to live
Well, okay,
there.
yeah, like, all right.
I would like to
I'll admit-
experience it like
Yeah,
from a
like-
distance, but I wouldn't like to live in it.
Yeah, like if I could like time travel and just like sit in my machine and like have a bunch of food and crap and just kind of look and stuff, then yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Because yeah, obviously to live in Rome, like
You would
people would like shit in the street and everything. And, like it would be like nasty and
It'd be like India now.
Yeah, like,
That's so messed up. That's so messed up.
I think
Don't
I
take it
have to
personal, anyone.
cut that
Don't
out.
take it personal. Nah, screw it.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm about to
why-
get. I already get canceled in Cuba and freaking Honduras. So who cares?
let's say like if it were an ancient place, I'd do like Tenochtitlan, you know,
Oh.
old
Oh,
Mexico
just to see
yeah.
the whole
City.
city on
And the
the
food
lake.
culture, and they were so powerful and luxurious.
I'm gonna give some love to the Bantu. I'd like to see how they like just traveled the world. Mansa Musa is like that's another thing that I'd like to.
facts.
I'd like to be bros in Mansa.
Yeah,
Mansa Musa, that me up my god. Or Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan would be the lot. Dude,
No.
one in every three Asian. One in every three Asians is a descendant from Genghis
Yeah,
Khan.
yeah.
So you know that man got busy. So yeah, hell yeah, I'd like to be
Join
bros.
up.
But you
Fuck
don't
all
want to be
these
friends
bitches.
with them.
No, but like if you're just like right hand
He'd
man,
probably
hell
kill
yeah.
you.
No,
He'd
if you,
probably-
if you know that
he'd
you're not
either
gonna
way.
die though. If you know that you're not, you tell me you wouldn't go like and bang with Genghis Khan.
Be like his
Nah.
Marco
We're a
Polo.
bunch
Just
of
be like,
people.
Nah,
nah,
No,
look at this
vibe.
way.
Like I'd rather just like chill with some Mexicans.
Bro, he's literally the richest person in the hit. He was worth $450 trillion at his peak.
Musa or
No,
Genghis
Genghis
Khan.
Khan was the richest person. He boned the most people. Like he had the most land. Mansa Musa had a ton of like stuff, and that would be like fun back in the time. But like if I'm going for like the life and knowing that I'm gonna be like set for life, hell yeah, give me Genghis Khan,
If you
bro.
really think about it, man, Genghis Khan is the closest thing we've gotten to Thanos. Like, I'm
Honestly.
No, I love that. Yeah.
No, honestly, he literally collected the whole country of Asia, or the whole continent of Asia, the whole like countries in Europe,
No, it's like
a
he's
part of Africa. Like this man is going for the Infinity
He's
Stone.
killed so many people where he changed the carbon footprint of how human beings was. Like
Yeah.
one man, China built the whole Great Wall just because of
Wait,
him.
look at how many kids did he have? I think it was 1,400 if I remember correctly.
It's like your
How many kids did the Genghis Khan have?
OG population.
Genghis Khan.
Kids.
There's no way it was 1,400. Where's
Hold on.
Jamie? Jamie,
Numbers.
Holy
what's
shit,
up?
there's not.
All right.
Shoot, it doesn't even
You
say.
need a fact checker, Nick.
How many sons? 40 sons, but
No,
like,
there's no way it's only 40.
but that's
sons.
recorded. I mean,
That's
like,
recorded.
Yeah,
I know
and
it's only
like,
1,400.
it's assuming that each son tried to have an heir. You could like just keep,
Yeah.
but you would have to.
Exponential.
I know he
Yeah.
had like a bunch of incest as well.
he even
yeah.
killed his own brother and all that.
Mhm.
Oh man, that guy was living the life though. Honestly.
That's not. But you wouldn't want to be like alongside him.
No, are you kidding me, dude? You can do
No,
whatever
no,
the hell
It's
you
just
want.
like that lifestyle is too much, dude.
It would be brutal, I think.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you would
Your
be.
legs would be tired, and you'd be like,
Yeah,
you'd be
constantly.
Man, he wasn't
like,
even moving a fucking
fighting.
toe.
like, why would you want to be a nomad when you could live in some like cool wonder of the world?
What I would do is the place I would choose is to like see the fucking Spartans and see how
Yeah,
they
that'd be-
train.
Dude, that would be
Dude.
nice. That would be
Yeah,
nice.
The Spartans, man, those guys are crazy.
Or being like a pharaoh in ancient Egypt?
Oh yeah, that'd be
Pretty
dope.
badass.
I would go back, have sex with Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, that is the best bag anyone would ever have. If you banged Marilyn Monroe, that him. Oh,
Yeah.
that's like one where there's like on Instagram where you see like you know how like the Tiger. Did you guys ever watch Parks and Rec?
Yeah.
yeah.
You know how he had like the Tiger Woods shirt after you had sex? If you saw a sign like that, you would dap the shit out of it. The person that banged Marilyn Monroe. No cap. You would dap the living fuck out of that
Are you ready for
person.
the next question?
I mean,
Oh.
if we want to, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
Wait, Cam, do you want to ask a question?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Give us
Let's
the-
see if I can find some or one that I like. You want something more serious or a little laid back?
Honestly, we're in the laid back mood. Let's do
Yeah.
some laid back for a bit. We'll get back to
Here-
serious in a
Here's
second.
one of my favorite ones. So, my question is, what role does food/cooking and eating play in your lives?
Honestly, I feel like now it's playing a little bit more of a role, unfortunately, because I'm not as in shape as I was. But like, I think it's still not as much as people think because I consume so much, but I also burn it off like every single day. So I think I'm fine. I knew how to cook. I just don't know how to cook many things. Like I can't cook a freaking like rotisserie chicken like sprinkled in like rosemary cooked at 375 degrees.
You just
Turn
told
it-
yourself, you
just-
just,
yeah.
you
Bro,
just
you
said the
just got
recipe,
it,
bro.
No, but like,
I think
you know, like the
Sure
uber
you can do it.
the uber complicated stuff that like you see on Chopped or something that's like magnificently made. Like I can't do that, but I can make it down to like the basics. You know what I mean? Like I can cook a chicken, but like I can't do that. Like I'm not like shop level where it's like I can flip it up 300 pans at once, catch them all at once, and then break an egg in the middle of it.
No, wait. So wait, back
How
to
do
the
you like
question.
that, dude?
I think that's kind of like off topic to the question. So like, I guess like for like how food has affected me now. Like,
Yeah.
Your
I see it
perception of
more
food
as
changed.
more as like it's something like I guess to like enjoy. Like I feel like now I actually like you know cooking and like doing that stuff.
Hell
I
yeah,
guess.
dude. I knew you'd like this question.
At one point, I mean like yeah, it's like food itself is like fun to like eat, but like at one point you got to see like like how it's made and how it's gonna affect you and your health and all that stuff. And when you start playing into proportion and you start like kind of putting the pieces together and seeing like different mixtures, I guess, of like how you eat and
Mhm.
when you eat and all that stuff, like it can help you personally with your health and all that. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean it's a science, dude.
Yeah.
Cooking and eating and all of that. So
Okay, well, eating is not really a science unless you're talking about like the hot dog eating. Like no one's like, oh, I'm inhaling like 30
No,
things.
like-
tons
no,
of things.
what
the
you
science
put in,
behind
like-
what.
Oh, like
put
what
in
you
your
meant?
body.
Oh, I thought you meant like
Yeah.
it's a science of how you eat. I was like, there's no
No,
science
no.
to it. You
Yeah,
just eat.
Look, two people could eat the same amount of calories, but if one eats like shit and the other one eats healthy as fuck, the other guy's gonna look a lot more better and feel a lot more better. While the guy who ate like shit, you know, he's gonna look like shit.
I mean, there's also an argument that is the opposite of what you're saying. Is that if you have the same calorie intake as someone else, no matter what you eat, you have the same effect. I mean, there are people that say one thing and people that say the other thing. And I
What do you-
personally don't know the.
What would you lean towards?
I would say calorically,
What do you
because I think that you could eat 2,000 calories of vegetables or 2,000 calories of chocolate cake, and although this will provide you with more sustenance because the volume would be greater and there's vitamins and such, the effect that it would have on the way your body looks would be the same.
Do y'all ever get like
Yeah.
so freaking bloated that you're like, damn, I'm fat, and then you'll like take a massive crap, and then you'll be set for the rest of the year? Like, have you guys ever had those? Like, I think every dude can relate to it. Like, you've had like a crap where it felt like you were giving birth, and then once you're done, you're like, oh man, I just dropped a stone.
I actually can't say I have.
Really?
I think you got a problem with constipation.
yeah.
No, but like, I feel like everyone has had a good crap at some point in their life. Where it's like, it's almost not an orgasm, but like, you know what I mean? It's like, it just feels good. It feels good to get it out. You know
It's
what I
like
mean?
you're
Personally,
shitting and you're coming
Like-
at the same time.
I guess I can relate to like having like a stomach ache and then like taking a nice one and then like it just like
Okay.
leaving.
Okay, well, I'll say just
But-
personally for me.
you take good craps, yeah.
No, no, not talking about
Oh, I
crap.
thought you
No,
were
no,
going
no,
there,
no,
too.
food.
No,
The calorie
like,
intake thing.
one way out the other.
So it's like a big misconception. You got to stop drinking soda. I drank Coke Zero for a solid 6 months, like every day, probably like 2 cans. I mean, I'm probably gonna get like cancer from this. Like,
Right now?
Dude, like,
Oh, yeah.
Still?
oh
Dude,
yeah.
everything gives you cancer. Like, hot
And,
dog gives
I
you
mean,
cancer,
like-
baby powder.
I think it. Honestly, I do think it's true. Like it's all about the calories. But like, yes, I mean, it is really important to get your like nutrients and stuff from like eating healthy food, I
For
guess.
sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It's because like whenever I like went into this transition of changing my body and I started eating a lot more healthier. Well, to be honest, I cut out so many calories, so that's obviously gonna change a lot. But like my skin got better whenever I started eating a lot more healthier. So I don't know. That was the kind of reactions that
Definitely.
I got.
No, there are each the way that you set up your diet and what you eat affects more than just your weight or your body composition. But like he said, I drink Diet Coke every day, and we've Gustavo and I have a similar journey in like weight loss. Like we both.
Yeah, I
have done
remember.
it.
Yeah, you guys look so. You three look so different. Me and
Yeah.
Jacob stayed the same the entirety of our lives. It's
So,
so funny.
Him and I both know that. I mean, you can drink soda, you can eat certain things that people don't expect someone who can lose weight to eat and still do it.
So then, what advice, if you're looking at someone over there and they're like trying to lose weight, what would be the advice that you would give them on how to lose weight?
I would say deficient diet. Like make sure that you're eating a lot less than you usually do.
For
Like
sure.
you could still like
That's
that
all
you
it
could
is,
still
is
eat.
volume.
Yeah.
I feel like it is volume.
Yeah, what
Definitely.
you eat is 90%. I mean, I didn't work out when I lost weight. I just fixed how I was eating.
And you also probably had a growth spurt. That also might help.
Yeah, I mean, I've been 60.
Like if you're 5 foot and you're like 200 pounds, bro,
And
you're like
also
a borderline
timing.
obese right there. But like
Timing for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, like not eating way too, because if you eat late, like that's pretty bad.
Yeah, there's really a lot to it, but I mean, for people that want to lose weight, like it's all about like doing your research and knowing how certain things affect you and what you need to do specifically for yourself. There's not like a one ticket or a one-way ticket to losing weight.
So like, did you guys like randomly think, oh yeah, I gotta lose it? Like, what was the moment that you looked at yourself and it's like, was it like you looked at the mirror, you saw yourself in the shower, like whatever?
That's probably what it was. I don't know.
For me, since like it's so important, it was like such an important period of my time. It's just like it was halfway through my sophomore year, and like I was just looking at myself and like I don't know, I just wasn't satisfied at all. I was eating some kind of snack and I was on my bed watching YouTube. So I was like, what the fuck? Like it's kind of like when you turn off the TV and you look at your reflection, like what am I doing with myself?
Yeah.
And like that's how I felt. So as soon as I don't know why, to be quite honest, I didn't do any research. I just changed it. I started eating the salads at school for some reason because I knew it was healthier. I knew all this stuff, but it was all discipline. It was all having that commitment of change.
Yeah, no, it's definitely about just making changes to
Sport.
what you're doing. But no, and I think that like weight loss or plays a big part into food and the question I was asking, because there's so much more to food than just eating and cooking. Like for me, I find like the science and the art behind culinary arts is so interesting, and the fact that it can bring people together and there are cuisines that are shaped by different cultures and you can eat all these different things, and there are people out there that will not try certain foods, like they'll go to restaurants and order chicken strips every time. And
Oh my
Oh,
god.
dude,
Never know
the
what's
Mexican
out there.
restaurants and they bring out the hamburger. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, that is annoying.
Exactly, dude. Like there's so much in the world to try, and there's so much that you don't realize that you would like, and you just have to try these things.
So then, what's been the thing that you regret trying? Have there ever been
Never.
anything that you
I
like?
don't think
No, like has there ever been anything that you tried and you're like, oh my gosh, that's disgusting?
No,
Really?
I don't think there's shouldn't be regret in trying new things.
No, like I'm not saying regret in trying. I'm saying like it just tasted disgusting. Like you tried it, you're like, okay, this is not for me.
I can't say I have, to be honest. I've eaten a lot of foods, but that's also subjective. Like your taste
Yeah.
buds, everyone's are different. So.
Like, I feel like I'm pretty adventurous, but the one thing I just will never eat is just cheese, like just straight up, like because I just don't like the texture and the smell. The texture and the smell really do it.
Like a
whenever-
cheese board, you wouldn't eat. Like,
I would eat a cheese ball, or I would
No,
eat like
like
a
a-
pizza
oh,
or
like
something
a-
like that. But I
oh,
never,
like a charcuterie.
I wouldn't eat a charcuterie board.
Oh,
ever.
really?
I never would eat. I just don't like it. The smell, the taste, and the like.
See, I mean,
Like it's just something that like I just can't bring myself. Like I can do it if it was life or death. Like I think everyone, like even if you're allergic to something, which I mean that might kill you in it itself.
It might just be death.
But like if you would rather take your chances with that than die. Like I'm not saying that like I'd
Yeah.
rather like die than eat cheese. Like I would eat cheese if I absolutely had to, or if I was like I remember I was at my friend's house and his mother didn't know that, and she put like a ton of cheese on my thing. I was like. I told him, I was like, dude, this is disgusting. I'm not gonna eat this. I'll eat. No, like I didn't say it like that. Like I ate it, but it's like I'm not gonna like eating it. Like you're gonna tell that I don't like this. So it's like I tried to cover it. She knew, and then she like asked me. I was like, I just don't like cheese. It's nothing against you. The actual food was fine, but it's like I just don't like to eat it. You know. So I feel like everyone has that one food where it's like you'd prefer to avoid it rather than not. Obviously, like you're just built different, bro. But like. Gustavo, do you have anything that you don't eat that you would like? You would rather avoid if you could, like not like unhealthy food. I'm talking just in general.
Honestly, no. Like
Really?
I'll literally, I like I like an iron stomach, man. Like I'll eat.
What the hell?
Yeah.
No.
I'm like,
No cap. Like I'm the same way. I remember when I was bulking, I would want to enjoy it, so I would eat like Popeyes chicken sandwiches. I would
yeah.
eat that
Yeah,
most.
like
of it.
everyone would eat that, but like like there's some things that like people just don't like. That you're telling me there's something that you just don't like. Wow,
not
that's
at all.
I call cap to you
No,
guys, bro.
no, it's
No,
because
like-
like
I would find something.
I hated things, but once I actually tried it, holy
Exactly,
crap,
and that's what it's about.
We need to do spill your guts or fill your guts because you guys are gonna have to eat your words on
Okay,
this
so
crap.
the problem with that is I'll tell anything. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
the-
care.
I remember I asked my friend, and it's like, yo, like one of my friends suggested, I was like, she was like, if you have Cam, don't do it with Cam because he would say
I'll
anything.
just say whatever.
Yeah, like you would never do. You would rather like just say it than
Yeah, I don't-
actually eat
I
it.
don't care.
I'll ask the question: who's superior, men or women? Just be like,
What's your answer though?
No,
Oh yeah,
there's
no, we can't do it.
There's no
Yeah,
risk right now.
can't do it.
No incentive.
All right, Jacob, please save me in this case. Is there something you just don't like to eat?
Dude, people look at me weird for this, but I cannot eat steak, pork chop, and ribs.
Okay, I can get that because
I
I get the
can-
religious part and I get the texture part.
It's
as well.
not even a religious part, it's mainly a texture part.
I can get that.
I get it from my dad. I hate chewy meat. Like whenever
Wait,
it's
what about
chewy,
bacon?
I just can't.
What about bacon?
Bacon has to be
Yeah,
crisp.
you can make it crispy.
Yeah, it has to be crisp. I love bacon, but if it's like rubbery or anything
Yeah.
like that,
Oh yeah, that's
no.
the stuff.
Like I
Okay.
went,
If you're putting
I-
it on a sandwich,
I
rubbery.
just I can't, bro.
Is
Like
it red meat in general?
I guess, yeah, because I love chicken.
Wait, okay,
Like,
what
I
about
can't get
Canadian
enough of
bacon?
Chicken.
What about Canadian bacon?
No, he wouldn't like that.
He's Canadian though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
Sorry,
you
bro.
don't like
Continue, continue.
Like I went to Britain and like they had like bacon and I was like, oh cool, bacon. And it was literally just a flat of bacon. And I was like, I guess I'll try it because I never tried to eat it like that. And I just
Yeah,
No,
right.
That's
I
British
can.
cuisine for you.
Yeah, the stereotype of British is like get an Indian, go to the bar and then order Indian food.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's straight up the stereotype.
Tikka masala or Nando's.
Yeah, like honestly, like if you guys know them, the Sidemen, they just always talk about this. That
Honestly, though, like Indian food, like
Indian food- I've-
yeah.
this
thought it
is
was-
the best term that I can say about Indian food, right? If it's good, it doesn't need to be spicy hot. It just has to have spices. If it's good, like the bad Indian food are the spicy ones. Like that's just my like you can still have some flavor. You can still have flavor in it, but like that's the one you know it's not elite level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's different gaps to it. So like a McDonald's versus like what's it called? The steakhouse, the Brazilian Fogo de Chao. Fogo de Chao versus there's different quality levels of meat.
Sure.
Just like there's different quality levels of Indian food. Like
Yeah.
you can tell it's like if your neighbor Indian food gives you something, like you're gonna take it and you're gonna eat it, but it's not gonna be as good as if you went
Yeah.
out to like someplace where it's like built for
But
that.
if I'm hammered, like I'd rather have a 20-piece than Fogo de Chao.
Yeah.
Yo, McDonald's
There's
Sprite
different- Yeah.
right in the morning.
There's-
Oh, dude, that is a wake up
There's a
call.
time and place for everything.
Yeah, like halal food, bro. Halal
Yes.
food is so fucking good.
I don't know if this is just me. Mediterranean is the best type of food.
Yeah, Mediterranean.
Yeah,
Mediterranean
I do not-
smack.
Have you had
Yeah.
Zamani?
Wait, what describe that one?
It's
Is
a restaurant.
Oh no, there's one in the Woodlands though. Here, I have to remember. I think I put it.
Naldia's?
No, it's like by a bank.
Zoe's?
It might no, it's not that. I have been to
I've
Zoe's
them all,
before.
bro.
I've been to Zoe's. There's one here. Let me see if I can find it.
Anyway, yeah, I just think it's important to try new foods and embrace other cultures, cuisines.
It looks like. What's
Yeah,
that?
honestly, like I would not
Like
touch
that in the
Indian
background.
food for like
Right
anything.
there.
I would not get close to Indian
Right.
food.
Mason
But then
Hall.
like I actually tried it and it was like good as hell.
Yeah, no, it's really good. And that's the thing. Like I said, you just have to try stuff. And your deal with cheese, I feel like that's like a preconceived thing that you just haven't gotten over yet.
Yeah, like my parents roast me because like I'll eat a pizza, fine enough.
Yeah.
Or, like I'll eat like chips or something like that. Not like nacho chips, but like
Yeah.
Cheeto chips or like
So you're talking about like just cheese itself.
cheese in and of
That
itself.
has
is
to be
disgusting.
something in your head.
Cheese in and of itself is just disgusting.
it's like
to
the
eat. Like
same-
by itself, like it has to have something to mask it. You know what I mean?
So what? So nachos, like if
I won't eat a nacho. Like I remember this is the funniest story ever. I guess it's just a little bit off topic. I remember we went to the quiet place and me and my friend were like, okay, this thing is really quiet, right? And I was like, we were talking to him. I was like, dude, you know it's like really quiet, right? And he was like, yeah, I should be fine. I'll get some nachos really quick. And he orders some nachos. We go into the movie and in the first scene, there's no sound whatsoever. And he's like eating the nachos. And it's like so damn dude, like Miguel, my dude, you screwed yourself over. He couldn't eat the nachos the whole film because there was like no sound. So it was like, oh man, that was so great. that was probably one of my greatest movie experiences ever. It was my friend ordering nachos at the Quiet Place, which if you guys don't know, there's like a 10-minute, like if you smash every single sound in the movie, there's a 10-minute total clips of sound. The majority of the movie is sound. Like that was so funny. Holy crap. That was the most fun I've ever had at a movie theater other than like
Wait.
watching.
Explain the concept. Of
What?
The quiet. What is the quiet?
Basically, it's a movie with John Krasinski, and there's these aliens that like focus on sound, and so they'll hear everything.
Okay.
And so if you step like this, they'll hear it.
Okay.
And so they'll come and kill you. So you have to like find a way to get as quiet as possible. And so the only times that he was able to eat was when they were at a waterfall, when they were when the alien was attacking, or whenever the mom gave birth. Those are the only 3 times that he was able to eat his nachos. The man just wolfed down the nachos in the middle of a quiet place. Like he couldn't, because like the rest of the film was just quiet because like you have to be in that scenario. You know, you can't make noise. So like if you knock on the door, you're dead in the movie. So like the whole movie is like literally like no sound. So like you can look on YouTube like
Dude,
the comparison.
I'm getting hungry
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah,
Jesus,
bro,
come on.
yeah.
All right, well, we'll switch topics. All right, Matthew.
Actually, I have more on
Okay.
that.
Oh, okay.
Because I just, other than eating and like enjoying the food that you eat, I think like cooking and, I mean, it's just like a passion of mine, so I'm expressing that. But like cooking can be therapeutic almost, and like it can be interesting to learn how to do stuff like that. So that's all.
All right, Matthew, do you want to ask a question? You haven't asked many.
Oh yeah. Shoot.
You can use mine, not or use yours, not mine.
Okay. Should I ask like the that important question?
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
from
Go
last-
ahead. Go ahead.
All right. If we never got to do this podcast ever again,
Which everyone
Together.
here is going to be able to do it again. Let's just point that out. But for the sake of the question,
yeah, what would you guys like to say to make an impression?
Impression,
Like an impression, or to like leave, like if we die and like this is our last like.
I'll start us off because I'm the host. And so I would like to say to everyone here, if I never see you again or you somehow miraculously die before the week of the 15th, hint, hint, week, nudge, nudge, there's going to be another one. Then I had to drop it somehow. I would like to say that you guys have all been a positive influence in my life, whether you know it or not, and that I'm always here for you, you and your families. If you ever need anything, I'm here for you within reason. I'm not going to give you like $1 million if I ever do that. Okay, and not unless I'm a billionaire. Okay, I'm not gonna do that, but I will be there emotionally and physically if you need me to. No homo.
Okay.
No.
I'll go next. I mean, like, if I were to like, let's say like die, I guess like soon, man. Like honestly though, like I feel like every single person like leaves an impression on you, or like you have a memory of them. Because like I know you like from middle school because you also in Hildebrand. Like I always see you, and you're also in my pre-calc class.
Yeah.
Like Matthew, I know you because like we always talk, and like I mean every single person, they leave a certain memory with you, and so like with that, I guess like try to be the best person you are, because like no matter what, like someone's always gonna remember you, and someone's always gonna like have like this one thought of you. So I mean like I've kind of made a mistake because like I kind of like leave bad impressions on people, I guess. So like they're gonna go down and see me like as someone else, but like in my mind I'm a little bit different. So like
You're just built different,
yeah,
bro.
so I mean like
Describe your
if I were to
brain.
die, like just like bro, like go ahead and start like telling me this stuff now. Don't tell me like after I'm dead. Like
Yo, like if you died randomly from like a heart attack or something, do we have permission to say, I guess he really was a fat meat at the end of the day? You know what I mean? Like, are we allowed to do jokes or something like
yes,
that?
dude, I
If
would
they're
love,
good? Yeah.
honestly, yes. Like I felt I'd be honored if someone made a joke about me if I was tattooed.
You just hear your mother speaking, he was a great son and a great man, and then you hear me and Mackie laughing in the background.
Yes.
Of that line.
That'd be hilarious. Honestly.
He was a great man.
Because honestly, I would do the same thing. Like if like one of my close friends like died, I guess
I mean, obviously,
I feel
don't
like,
joke with the parents because that's something.
Oh,
That's like a line you don't cross. But like in the corner, yeah, hell yeah, we would. Wait, okay, so Jacob, what about you?
If I were to die, bro.
It's not necessarily if you were to die. It's just what impression would you want to make? What would people want to hear from you?
What people want to hear from me? Dang, that's a hard one. I don't know.
That's the whole point of this
Like-
podcast, bro.
Yeah, like I it's kind of hard because I find myself as a boring person. for the most part.
I mean, we did that like personality testing. You had like 0 risk taking, so I can
Yeah,
see
like
that.
I'm pretty boring. Like I'm a rule follower. I don't go to parties. I don't do any drugs. And I know that doesn't like make you like cool or whatever, but
like it
I
makes you
don't-
spicy. quote
yeah,
unquote.
like I don't do anything crazy. Like I just kind of like sit in my room all the time playing games. So, God, what impression would I want to leave? If you guys got something, you can go. I'll think about it a little bit more. It's really hard. This is what I wanted from this podcast is for people to have a moment that they can like really look back on and say, all right, I was a part of this. I like this. You know, like I tried to bring together different types of people throughout all these. So I think that you guys all fit the bill in your own respective way. Shout out to Daniel. I know you're not in here right now, but like I know you would have wanted to be in here. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but like I don't know, Matthew, do you have anything?
Yeah, sort of like how Gustavo would say, like, if you see me as a shitty person, I promise you I'm not as bad as you think I am. And like it's just all that how the way that person like pressed their foot on you, or how the way they lay down their image of who they are as a person to you. But if that person's just bad, then they're just bad. But yeah, I would say like give it a chance at least to see like from my perspective on how I am. And like I don't know, the thing with this question is like it's kind of like that meme. Have you ever seen it before? Like hold on, before 2014 ends, does anybody like want to say?
Oh
Anybody
man,
got a crush on me?
dude, old memes. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
that is so bad. How did we find some of these so funny? Like these are so garbage now. Like so much stuff that tested, like the Yoda, not Yoda, the Doge. That's pretty funny if you like do a will, or like the one that we talked about, the Woody. I'm done playing with you. Like that's a really good one. But like some of these
Is
ones.
that a dick joke?
What? No, I'm done. You remember when like Andy? No, it was a dick joke. You remember when like Andy dropped the Woody and it's like I'm done playing with you,
Oh,
and then people will crop someone's face on whenever they break up or something like
Oh.
that. Like that. That is what I mean. But like getting back to the question, Cameron,
yeah.
what would you say?
Nothing crazy. I mean, it might be cliche, but take care of yourself. Enjoy your time while you're here. Be kind to those around you. Stuff like that, man. I'm not real into messages.
Well, shit, we should have done this for the final question.
Yeah. Well, no.
All right, okay. Jacob, do you want to ask a question?
I think like I can answer the one.
Oh, answer the one and then ask the question. All right, double.
Well, I guess what I tell people is, like, I guess if it was everyone I knew, like from like America and everything, I guess I tell them thanks for giving me a good, wholesome American experience. I gotta say, like, I remember when I first came here in Canada, I was still much like I love Canada. And now, like, I've listened to the national anthem a couple times last week, and I love this place and everyone in it. So honestly, I just say, yeah, like, just keep being yourselves, and thanks for the experiences.
So long, and thanks for all the fish. You know what I mean? I don't know if anyone gets that reference or not. No?
America can be a weird place, but
Yeah.
I think we have the right spirit.
It's a lot greater than what people make it out to be.
For
Some
sure.
people really like genuinely think this country is like dog shit. Which
I think to an extent it can be looked at as dog shit for sure. Like, especially with the issues that we have now socially and like all that
Yeah.
stuff. Like we can definitely look at it as a dog shit
yeah,
country.
there's definitely some.
But there's
flaws.
always gonna be dog shit people everywhere. It's just
Yeah.
the rest of the people that like can they bring up the rest of the country. I think for the majority of the job, we
It's
do
just-
that well.
It's just always gonna be perspective, I guess.
Yeah.
No matter what situation it is, it's always
could
perspective.
be so much worse.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, we could live in Germany. No, I'm just kidding. No, Germany's not that bad. Germany's not.
Not too
It could be
bad.
like China or something like that. Like it could genuinely be a lot worse.
Yeah.
Dude,
I feel-
okay, I'm sorry. You guys hear about what happened in Myanmar?
Oh,
With
yeah,
the
military.
military takeover? Imagine if we lived there. We have our first democratic election, and the military is just like,
Oh, it was the first one?
apparently. Well, I don't know if it was the first one, but it was a democratic election.